Okay, so you've been solving equations with x's and y's and a's and b's. Now we're going to do something a little different. It's kind of a first step to applying all this stuff. So what we're going to do is use scientific formulas, geometry formulas, and you're always going to know everything except one thing, and that'll be like the x and y and a and b that you've been doing already. Okay? So I'm just going to give you a couple of simple examples. Here's the first one. We'll take this formula, and you don't need to know these formulas. You just have to know how to find the missing letter when you're given the formula. So, and of course you can't know all of these. There'll always be one that you don't know. So I'll start. Let's just do one of them here. Let's call it A. And I will give you, I'll say that the length is 20 and the width is 15. I'm sorry, I should have said that the P stands for perimeter in this one, L stands for length, and W stands for width. But as you can see, you wouldn't really have to know that. As long as I tell you what the relationship between L, W, and P is, all you have to know, L is 20, W is 15. You can find what P is even if you don't know its perimeter. So here's what we would do, of course. We would go dot, and we'd go 2, and then exactly where the L is, we put the 20 in the formula, plus, then exactly where the W is, we put the 15. So now that gives us 2 times 35, which is 70. So that's our final answer. So let's try another one here. Well, actually, let's leave this on. Well, we might put that same formula back, but we'll do it with different numbers, and we'll know different things to make it different. Okay, so let's go again here. Same formula. Call it B now. Heck, we could even do this a little bit backwards. Okay. Let's say we know the perimeter is 70, and we know the length is 20, and what is the width? And of course you might remember that from the previous question what it is, but let's solve it. Let's see how we would do that. So again, first step is always that you put the number exactly where the letter is in the formula. So that's 70. It's got to go there, right where the P is, because P is 70. 2, and then that 20, it's got to go exactly where the L is. So it's got to go there. And then the W, that's what we don't know. Now, next step, you may remember when you have a 2 before a bracket, means to multiply both things in the bracket. So we've got to do those two. So 2 times 20 is 40, plus 2 times W is 2W. Just means 2 times W, whatever that W is. Then we'll go, okay, let's get the numbers together, leave the one with the letter on the other side by itself. So let's move that. And of course, anything that moved like that, we've got to change the sign. So what was plus 40 is now minus 40. So we got 2W, 7 minus 40. That gives us 30 is 2W. And then dividing both sides by 2, let's get our final answer here. W is 15, which is 30 by 2. Okay, so that's how you're going to do all of them. All the time, you're going to have a formula, you're going to know all the letters except one letter. You're going to substitute those ones you know exactly where that letter is in the formula, and then you're going to solve it just the same way you were before with your X's and Y's and A's and B's and so on. And usually you'll actually be told what these letters mean. It's not necessary to solve it, but perhaps it's useful to see, especially the geometry formulas, because you're going to be getting geometry in not too long a time. But you can almost always guess that if the letter is perimeter that starts with P, the P is perimeter, and the L is length, and the W is width. It's usually the first letter. Okay, so I'll let you try